help people go from blocked to brilliant, creatively blocked to creatively brilliant. And I found the framework to get there in the quickest, funnest, easiest way possible. But a big aspect of implementing this framework is learning the skill, because it is a skill, on how to stop overthinking, how to move out of your own way, how to not second guess yourself. So there's this fantastic movie, I don't know if you guys have seen it, called Don't Think Twice, which is basically about an improv troupe in New York, and one of the players from the improv troupe gets chosen for a Saturday Night Live type show. And the reason why it is just such a fantastic show is because it really speaks to this idea of trusting your gut, believing your intuition, listening to your intuition, not overthinking, not second guessing yourself, not operating from your self-sabotage center. Hence the movie is called Don't Think Twice. So the reason why I thought it was really important to go live today and speak about overthinking is because I feel like overthinking is something that really affects a lot of us and actually holds us back. And the beautiful thing about improv comedy, or using comedy techniques to stop overthinking, is it actually, when we're using these techniques, the part of the brain that lights up is our prefrontal cortex. It's the part of the brain that's responsible for creative thinking. It's the part of the brain that is responsible for creative flow, for prayer, for meditation. It's the prefrontal cortex. And that lights up and ignites when we are doing improv comedy and comedy techniques. The part of the brain that goes quiet, that shuts down, is the part of the brain at the back, which is called the reptilian brain. It is the self-sabotage center. It's the logical brain. It tells us that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, second guess yourself, don't trust your intuition, your gut always lies. And what we actually learn through this framework that I'm teaching and through improv comedy is how to ignite this part of the brain, switch this part of the brain off, and how to let that self-sabotage center go quiet and switch off. So I want to tell you about how I learned, or how I found this concept of overthinking and decided to apply it to my framework. So I went to clown school, and which already is hilarious. I spent my life savings and flew to France to go and do a clown school at a very established, to go and do a clown course at a very established clown school. And we basically were learning red nose. And for those of you who don't know, red nose is the tiniest mask in the world. It is what you see at, circuses, but it is also used in theatre. And the reason why it's such a powerful tool, this tiny little mask, is because it really highlights, the moment you have this mask on, it highlights our vulnerability and it highlights our emotions. So it's a really powerful tool in terms of getting in touch with your authenticity and getting in touch with your prefrontal cortex. And I remember the fear, the first time I put on this red nose, and we had to play a game called Make Us Laugh. And I was in front of a room full of people who I didn't know, who were also at the same clown school as me. And we had to put on this red nose, and for about 45 minutes, for the whole section of the class, we had to make everybody else laugh. and this was completely improvised. We had nothing planned. All we had was this red nose and our bodies. And I remember just being stuck in, I guess it was my comfort zone of, um, stuck in my comfort zone, stuck in the fear of what other people are going to think of me, the fear of being silly, the fear of nobody laughing. And I remember going on stage and my heart was pounding. I was vulnerable. And I just made a decision to get out of my head, because I realized that when you are in your head, you're dead. So I made a decision to get out of my head, just breathe and be present and sit in the awkwardness. And what sitting in the awkwardness did, and what it allowed me to do, is it allowed me to actually just get over myself. To just get over myself and say, right, I'm here. I have a choice to make. Either I can sit in my head and worry about what anybody else thinks about me, or I can actually just sit in the awkwardness until I'm able to climb out of the awkwardness and just laugh. Okay? Just laugh and basically lean into the silly. And that's what I decided to do. And the moment I decided to lean into the silly, magic happened. Magic happened, because without a script, without knowing what to do, I started moving and I started walking around the room and I started playing with objects and everybody started laughing. Do you know why? Because sitting in that awkwardness built tension and everybody could feel the tension, and we needed to release the tension. And what is the easiest, funnest, best way to release tension? Through laughter. So my point here is that if you stop worrying about what other people think and lean into the awkwardness and lean into the silly and get out of your comfort zone, that is where the growth happens. That is where the magic can happen. I started having fun, and what that meant is other people could have fun now. Other people could laugh as well. So the moment you switch off that center in your brain, that overthinking center, the center in your brain that is worried about what other people think, you truly can operate from this part of the brain, from the prefrontal cortex. And that is where the magic happens. That is where the growth happens. That is where the funny is. And the beautiful thing about clowning and improv comedy techniques and the framework that I've developed is I teach you how to operate from here and how to switch off that part, so switch off that self-sabotage center. So, this framework really, as I say, teaches you how to sit in the awkwardness, how to sit in the uncomfortableness, how to get uncomfortable and work your way out until you can be in a space of creative freedom, creative flow. So if you are with me, give me a yes in the chat. Let me know that you feel me. How many of you have ever self-sabotaged or been in a situation where you said no on something that could have been really big for you because you were afraid what other people were going to think of you? And I have promised myself that I'm never going to be in that situation again. I want to tell you a fantastic parable that I heard from T.D. Jakes, I think it is. So he speaks about giraffes and turtles. And he says giraffes and turtles occupy logistically the same land, correct? But their point of view is completely different. Giraffes are high up in the trees and they have wide, expansive vision, whereas turtles are on the ground and all they can see is the ground. Okay? So what I've realized, or what I got from the story, is that a giraffe cannot share the same vision as a tortoise or tortoise, because a tortoise cannot see what the giraffe sees. Okay? A giraffe has a 25-pound heart that needs to pump blood up its 9-foot neck in order to get blood to its brain. Okay? And if that giraffe comes down to drink water, comes down to the level of the tortoise for too long, it passes out. And what did that parable teach me? You're a giraffe. Do not share your vision with a tortoise. Do not share your vision with the tortoise. Do not acquiesce to the murmurings of the tortoise. So it's just a really powerful story in terms of not sharing your vision with people who are going to, poo-poo your dreams, the naysayers who are going to say that you can't achieve it just because, their vision is on the ground. So I thought that was a really powerful parable in igniting a vision and not overthinking it or not second guessing yourself. So I want to say one more thing about overthinking. And, in improv comedy and in comedy and in the framework that I've developed, we learn how to operate at top of intelligence. What does that mean? That means that we all have a Rolodex in our brain, right? And we as improvisers, we go with the first idea that comes to mind, because the first idea that comes to mind is often where the genius lies. And because improv is very rarely done in isolation, it's done in big troops or in groups, you often have the support of other people supporting that idea, saying yes and to that idea. So because your first idea is the one that you go with, because you trust your gut, you trust your intuition, we rely on truth, we rely on top of intelligence. So because we go with that first idea and we have the support of the group, that is the idea which often leads to greatness, often leads to the story, leads to the show, right? So we learn how to rely on top of intelligence, how to rely on the first idea, because that first idea is where the genius lies. And if we can trust our gut, trust our intuition, and commit fully to that first idea, we will never overthink again. So I hope this has been exceptionally helpful. If you guys need any support, love, hold handing when it comes to stopping overthinking and worrying about the judgment of others, I am holding a masterclass. I will put the link in the descriptions and in my profiles of how you guys can access. I have a few tickets of VIP access left for my masterclass. I would love you guys to join. I would love you guys to get involved. Let's get you operating from top of your intelligence. I will share the framework with you that I have shared with all of my students for the last 14 years, that have gotten them to stop overthinking, stop worrying about the judgment of others, and in their full creative genius. I cannot wait to see you there. I will see you guys on a live again tomorrow, but otherwise sign up for our masterclass. It is going to be awesome. I cannot wait to take you all from blocked to brilliant. Angel doves, stay hilarious.